The galactic hegemony had existed for 12,000 years, incorporating hundreds of species across thousands of worlds. Their technological supremacy was unquestioned. Their military might, absolute. Their cultural dominance, total. Then they met humans. Admiral Krell of the hegemony's third expansion fleet examined the small blue-green planet through the bridge viewport. Primitive satellites orbited the world. Radio signals leaked into space. A single pathetic space station circled in low orbit. "Prepare the standard intimidation package," Krell ordered, mandibles clicking with amusement. "Let's see how quickly they surrender." Lieutenant Vex hesitated. "Sir, intelligence suggests caution with this species. They appear unusually resilient." "Nonsense. Look at their technology. They're barely past combustion engines," Krell scoffed. "Begin the display." 20 hegemony warships materialized in Earth's orbit, their massive hulls gleaming under Sol's light. On every screen across the planet, Krell's insectoid face appeared. "People of Earth, you are now subjects of the galactic hegemony. Surrender your sovereignty and resources. Resistance is futile and will result in punishment. You have 6 hours to comply." The transmission ended. Krell waited, expecting the usual panicked capitulation. Instead, a single message returned from a human called General Thomas. "With respect, no." Krell's compound eyes blinked in surprise. "No." They said no? "Yes, Admiral," Vex confirmed. "They're refusing." "Impossible." Krell's carapace flushed with anger. "Target their largest military installation. Level it." A hegemony destroyer positioned itself over a pentagon-shaped building in North America and fired. The energy beam struck and dissipated harmlessly against an invisible shield. "What?" Krell hissed. "How do they have shield technology?" Another message arrived from Earth. "That was rude. Our turn." Suddenly, alarms blared across the hegemony fleet. 6 ships simultaneously lost power, drifting dead in space. Krell watched in horror as tiny human spacecraft, previously undetected, attached themselves to his vessels. "They're boarding us?" Vex shouted. "But how?" "Our sensors." "Sir," another officer interrupted. "The humans are. They're inside our computer systems." On the screen, a new face appeared, a human woman with short gray hair and piercing eyes. "Admiral Krell," she said calmly. "I'm Director Morgan of Earth Defense. You seem confused, so let me explain. We've been watching the stars for centuries. We detected your scout ships 50 years ago. We've been preparing ever since." "Impossible," Krell whispered. "You see," Morgan continued, "humans have a saying, mess around and find out. You've just done the first part. Now comes the second." Across the fleet, hegemony ships began powering down. Weapon systems failed. Life support flickered. "What have you done?" Krell demanded. "Your technology relies on quantum-linked processing cores," Morgan explained. "Beautiful system, efficient. Unfortunately, quite vulnerable to certain mathematical paradoxes. We inserted a few throughout your network." Vex stared at a red op. "Admiral, they're downloading our entire database." Morgan smiled. "Consider this. The hegemony has spent 12,000 years conquering and assimilating. Humans spent the same time trying to outsmart each other. We've devoted more resources to innovation than your entire civilization has to everything combined. On Earth, humanity watched in collective awe as the alien fleet hung powerless in orbit. Decades of secret preparations had culminated in this moment. Since detecting the first alien signals, governments had united under a single purpose: survival. The world's greatest minds had worked tirelessly developing countermeasures against technologies they could only theorize about. Captain Lee, commanding one of the stealth boarding craft, reported from within the hegemony flagship. "Director, we've secured the engine room. Their tech is remarkable, but nothing we didn't anticipate." "Excellent," Morgan replied. "Begin the extraction." Krell's mandibles trembled. "We can negotiate." "Oh, we're well past that," Morgan interrupted. "You threatened our planet. Now, we'll take your ships, your technology, and your star charts. Then we'll be paying the hegemony a visit." "The core worlds are heavily defended," Krell protested. "I'm sure they are. Morgan replied with a predatory smile. But here's something you should understand about humans, Admiral. We were confined to one world, fighting over resources when we could have been exploring the stars. You and your hegemony kept other species down, stunted their development, treated them as resources. Her eyes hardened. We don't like bullies. Within hours, the hegemony fleet belonged to Earth. Human engineers swarmed through alien vessels, understanding and improving systems that had remained unchanged for millennia. Earth's scientists deciphered the hegemony database, discovering thousands of subjugated worlds. In underground facilities across Earth, prototype ships emerged, vessels designed over decades based on theoretical alien technology. Now, with actual hegemony tech in hand, these prototypes were quickly refined and produced in mass. Professor Wilson, head of the Xenobiology Division, made another critical discovery. The hegemony's genetic tampering, he explained to the United Earth Council. They've been selectively breeding aggression out of conquered species for millennia. That's why no one resists them anymore. And humans? General Thomas asked. We're the first species they've encountered in thousands of years that still has our original evolutionary traits intact. Our capacity for warfare, our adaptability, our aggression, they're all natural advantages against their empire. 1 month later, a fleet departed Earth. The captured hegemony ships, now crewed by humans, accompanied by new vessels of Earth design that incorporated and improved upon alien technology. The first hegemony colony world they reached, Proxima Centauri HFY, surrendered immediately. The second welcomed them as liberators. By the third, news had spread across the faster-than-light communication network. Humans were coming, and they were dismantling the hegemony piece by piece. Not through genocide or destruction, methods that hegemony would have employed, but by offering alliance, technology, and freedom. 6 months after Admiral Krell's ill-fated intimidation attempt, human ships reached the hegemony's throne world. The Emperor, a being who had ruled for over 3 centuries, found himself facing General Thomas and Director Morgan across a negotiation table. Your conquest ends today, Thomas stated flatly. Every species gets self-determination. Every world chooses its own path. You cannot undo 12,000 years of order, the Emperor protested. Morgan leaned forward. We already have. Half your empire has declared independence. The other half is in open rebellion. Your military has defected or been defeated. How? The Emperor whispered. How did one primitive world do this? Thomas smiled grimly. You should have done your homework. Humanity spent its history surviving ice ages, plagues, and our own worst tendencies. When we weren't fighting nature, we fought each other. Every human invention, from the wheel to nuclear power, has been turned to advancement at some point. And then, Morgan added, you showed up and threatened our planet. You picked the wrong species to bully. As the galactic order reshaped itself around human principles of liberty and self-determination, a new plaque was installed in the former Hegemony Palace, now converted to a galactic assembly hall. It bore Earth's new unofficial motto, a warning to any future would-be conquerors. Earth, threaten us at your own peril. Test us, and find out the consequences.